Venezuela is currently among those countries of the world that are suffering from severe political, economic, and social pressure. For decades, this country has been trapped between internal crises and external pressure, but in the present time these problems appear to have reached their peak. Venezuela is a country that possesses some of the largest oil reserves in the world, yet despite this immense natural wealth, its people are struggling to meet even their most basic needs of life. This contradiction has astonished the international community, raising serious questions about how a nation so rich in resources could fall into such deep economic decline. Politically, Venezuela has been facing instability for a long time. Intense conflict continues between the government and the opposition, which has weakened state institutions. Questions regarding the transparency of elections are repeatedly raised. Opposition parties often refuse to accept election results, while the government declares itself legitimate and constitutional. This political tug-of-war has severely damaged public trust, and people increasingly feel that their voices are not reaching the corridors of power. Protests, strikes, and street demonstrations have become a routine part of Venezuelan politics, and at times these are suppressed with force. The economic situation has become Venezuela's most serious problem. Inflation has remained at dangerously high levels for many years, causing the national currency to lose much of its value. An ordinary citizen's salary loses its worth within days, and people have increasingly begun to rely on barter, exchanging goods instead of using money. Prices in markets change rapidly, and the same item can be sold at different prices in the morning and evening. This situation has nearly wiped out the middle class, pushing a large portion of the population below the poverty line. Oil, which was once considered the backbone of Venezuela's economy, has now become a problem in itself. Declining production, outdated infrastructure, a shortage of technical experts, and international sanctions have severely damaged the oil sector. Since a major share of government revenue depended on oil, the decline in exports has emptied the state treasury. As a result, salaries of government employees, public development projects, and social welfare services have all been affected. Power outages, water shortages, and transportation problems have further complicated daily life for the people. At the international level, Venezuela is facing strict sanctions, particularly from the United States and its allies. These sanctions are said to be aimed at pressuring the government, but the greatest burden is borne by ordinary citizens. The import of medicines, medical equipment, and food has become difficult, severely affecting the healthcare system. Shortages of medicines are common in hospitals, and many patients lose their lives due to the lack of timely treatment. Doctors and nurses are leaving the country because of low salaries and poor working conditions, deepening the crisis in the health sector. The humanitarian crisis is another tragic aspect of Venezuela's situation. Millions of people have left the country in search of a better life and have been forced to seek refuge in neighboring nations. This migration is considered one of the largest population movements in the history of Latin America. Families have been torn apart, children are being deprived of education, and women and the elderly face extreme hardships. Those who remain in the country struggle daily to secure food, medicine, and employment. In many areas, people find it difficult to obtain even one proper meal a day. The social structure has also been severely affected by this crisis. Crime rates have increased as unemployment and poverty have pushed many individuals toward illegal activities. Theft, robbery, and violence have become common, making citizens feel unsafe. Educational institutions suffer from a lack of resources, teachers receive inadequate salaries, and a large number of students are forced to abandon their studies. A society that was once considered ahead of others in the region in terms of education and healthcare is now struggling for basic services. In global politics, Venezuela has become an important chessboard. Major powers are attempting to expand their influence in the country according to their own interests. Some nations support the government, while others stand with the opposition. This global power struggle has further complicated Venezuela's problems, as external pressure continues to grow alongside internal crises. Diplomatic statements, sanctions, negotiations, and threats have all become part of this ongoing contest. The psychological condition of the population is also deeply concerning. Prolonged uncertainty, constant pressure, and fear of the future have mentally exhausted the people. The younger generation, which represents the future of any nation, feels directionless. Many young people dream of leaving the country because they see no bright future in their homeland. This sense of deprivation is particularly dangerous, as it slowly erodes societies from within. Despite all these circumstances, a remarkable sense of resilience and determination can still be seen among the Venezuelan people. Even in the most difficult conditions, people support one another, communities attempt to share food and resources, and efforts continue to preserve culture and traditions. Music, art, and literature remain sources of hope for many. This demonstrates that no matter how harsh the circumstances may be, the human spirit is not easily defeated. Looking toward the future, Venezuela stands at a critical crossroads. If political dialogue, economic reforms, and international cooperation are pursued, improvement is possible. However, if the current conflict continues, the crisis may deepen further. Venezuela's story is not just the story of a single country, but a powerful example of how political miscalculations, economic mismanagement, and intervention by global powers can collectively push a nation into severe hardship. Today, what the people of Venezuela desire most is stability, the right to live with dignity, and a future in which they do not have to fight for survival every single day.